I mean, it's barely a phone. Surely it can't be used as a camera. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Lost in the Specific. If you are enjoying the content, please do just hit subscribe real quickly. Share it with your friends as well if you think they're going to enjoy it. Today, we're going to be talking about the Palm Phone camera. Okay, if you haven't seen my previous video on why I use the Palm Phone, then just check it out by clicking that right there. A little bit about my background. I've been a photographer for the past 6 years. I've been practicing photography for about 10 years. Do you mean photography is your hobby? No, I've been paid cash money for it and everything. Hey! So I know a thing or two about creating photographs. I've traveled the world extensively for the past 2 years. I've been traveling around the world for 4 years in total. And along that time, I've been shooting street and travel photography, and it's become a large part of what I do and how I earn money. Now, my actual camera is the Fuji X-T2. That's what I'll be using in normal circumstances, but seeing as I have the Palm phone, I thought, well, may as well see what we can do with it. Some of the hard facts. It's a 12 megapixel main camera with an 8 megapixel front-facing selfie camera. And look, the image quality isn't that bad. It's obviously not going to be able to compete with other smartphone cameras, flagship smartphone cameras like you'll find on the iPhone 11 Pro or the Google Pixel 3, which has got probably some of the best software technology that's used in a smartphone for its cameras. You've got things like night mode that performs exceptionally well in low light circumstances, which for camera phone standards it's pretty remarkable as well. I mean, it's never going to rival an actual camera, and these smartphones probably never will, even as their technology advances. The camera world, mirrorless systems and DSLRs, if they still have a life in 10, 20 years' time, will also advance. And I don't think personally that smartphone cameras will ever be able to catch up. Probably going to eat those words in the future, but I believe a camera is only as good as the person that's using it. And I was in Mexico when I forgot my camera at home. I forgot my Fujifilm camera at home, but I'd already had the mindset that I was going to be able to go out and create some pictures and you know, see what I saw and document it along the way. And I only had this little guy in my pocket, so if it was the perfect time really to try and see if I can produce some good photographs with it. I was quite impressed, to be honest with you. I honestly thought with a phone this size, we'd be looking at some kind of Nokia 2 megapixel 2007 levels of photography, and that just wasn't the case. It performed really well in good light, and if you've ever been to Playa del Carmen, it's on the Caribbean Sea, it's beautiful, the sun's pretty much always shining, and there's some perfect opportunities to get some well exposed photographs whilst you're on your travels. And this guy didn't let me down. And sure, when you start getting into darker areas in low light situations, it's not going to perform. You know, it's a 3.3-inch smartphone. You can only do so much in terms of camera capabilities with a guy like this. But color reproduction was good, responsiveness was good. You know, pretty much as soon as I hit the shutter, the image was taken, maybe only a few moments after. Again, not as quick as a mirrorless or DSLR, but pretty quick for smartphone standards. One of the things that was kind of a problem, and if you're like me, who likes to shoot for extensive periods of time, you know, it's not uncommon for me to go out early in the morning and come back early evening, having created lots of travel photographs in that time. The battery life. The battery life is the biggest gripe about this, not just as a camera phone, but just as a phone in general. It's a 800 milliamp battery, and if you're being a heavy user with it, it's gonna die out of juice in no time. And yeah, sure, you can carry around a battery pack, a rechargeable battery pack, and that will serve you well. But it's annoying, always having to worry about whether the battery is gonna be on your side when you see a frame. And the last thing you want is to be in a situation where you see a great scene, you compose it, you're ready to take the shot, and the battery just dies out on you. But one of the benefits of using the Palm phone as a camera is it's so easy to go unnoticed. As a street and travel photographer who often shoots candidly, when I've got my Fuji X-T2, which is quite a compact camera by standards, even then people notice you, they're suspicious of you, and they've often got a lot of questions about why you're taking photos of them without asking permission. And that's a whole different conversation which we can have another time. But the point is, when you're using the Palm phone, literally no one really sees you. They don't even register it's a phone, let alone a phone that can take photographs. So you're able to go about your day-to-day work of creating images without anyone actually bothering you. And as someone who's had quite a fair share of confrontation during my time traveling around the world creating photographs, it's a breath of fresh air to be able to do it without being suspected or without anyone wanting to get into an altercation of any sorts. As far as just using it as your day-to-day selfie camera, it'll do well. You know, you're never going to win any awards in terms of detail, dynamic range and things like that, but not many smartphone cameras will. And I think if you need something that's light, compact, you can take a quick image, save a memory for a lifetime, you can't go wrong with the Palm. Will I ever replace this for my camera, or will I ever use this as my main camera? No, never. As a photographer, I will never use a smartphone as my main camera. But if I do forget my Fujifilm at home again, then I won't feel too disappointed using the Palm phone. Right guys, thank you very much for watching. I've got plenty of more videos coming up. Please do check them out. And remember, do subscribe, do share. I'll see you next time. Didn't put as much humour in this one. It was a bit too straight. It's a bit too informative. Geeky.